प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all of your lotus feet for joining this. Without Vaishnava's mercy, there's nothing I'd be able to do. So thank you all so much for giving me this opportunity. So I'm praying, earnestly to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, and my Siksha Gurus and all the Guru Parampara, because this topic is, a little elevated. Totally not qualified to talk about this, but as I promised to, convey the teachings of His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj from the book Living Name, I'm just venturing into this. Personally, found this book to be, very useful and kind of changed my perspective of chanting. So on the eve of Janmashtami, let us all, pay attention and hear this and try and, improve our chanting. So all the whatever I'm saying is all, nothing is mine. Everything is, coming from this book by His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj. So this book is called The Living Name, and we've already finished, I think, 3 sessions so far. So Maharaj has nicely described how, we should see the name as, he calls it a living name. So the living name, the Nama is a absolute truth. So Nama is not different from Krishna. And so it is a he, it is not an it or something. And then he goes on to give you 5 ways of improving our chanting. One was chanting in yojana, which was, the physical aspects, like, how to sit properly, how to focus our mind, how to concentrate with our heart. So that was, we finished chanting in yojana, then chanting in sambandha. So without understanding our relationship to the Supreme Lord, then, there is no relationship, means this chanting is not fruitful. Then the third session was chanting in seva. So how, we should chant in a mood of service, because understanding our sambandha, which is the eternal servants of Krishna, we are. So after understanding sambandha, what do we have to do? As nitya sevikas, we should chant in seva bhava. So that was what we did last time. So this was 2 sessions. One was the theoretical part, and then last time we did the practically how to actually, sit and chant in seva bhava. So we did that. Now, fourth aspect Maharaj discusses is the chanting in Vipralambha. So all these methods he's giving us to be able to chant with absorption. So how can we increase our absorption? Because just by doing a mechanical vibration of our tongue, then that is not, japa, he says, actually, because we are material, our tongues are material. So whatever vibration we are trying to do, take the holy name, remains only, syllables, unless Krishna descends in them. So these are all ways of, how do we attract Krishna to descend in the holy name? Otherwise, they'll just be like empty capsules. So there is no medicine, there is no potency unless Krishna decides to descend in our chanting, in our nama. So these are all the ways of how to make Krishna descend in the holy name, so that, it becomes live, and that's why it's living name becomes live, and then our heart gets purified, and the actual purpose of chanting is fulfilled, and the actual goal that we are proceeding towards gets fulfilled. Otherwise, this, years of mechanical chanting, talking about myself, I've done years of mechanical chanting, which I'm realizing that, of course, chanting is very powerful, even if you say it unknowingly, unintentionally, even with, anger or other bhavas also. Chanting is potent, but that is not our goal. So trying to understand, how we should correctly chant, and where can chanting take you. So just, trying to advance slowly. So that's how I came across this book, which has helped. So chanting in Vipralambha. So Vipralambha is mood of longing, as we all know. So we've discussed that chanting in Sambandha means chanting with a sense of relationship that we've discussed in Seva, offering our chanting. So in that Seva Bhav, Maharaj says chanting is a service. So we are serving the Hare Nama. So all these are based on the essential understanding. So the Seva and the Sambandha are based on the essential understanding that we are the Nama is non-different from Krishna. And then we get the desired result, which is what? Which is when we chant with Sambandha and Seva, then the Nama descends in our syllables that we are trying to utter. Then Maharaj says there's another deeper secret that will help us please Krishna. So by serving Krishna, we have to please him, right? So to please him, there's another deeper secret that Maharaj says, and this is the chanting in the mode of separation. So actually, for chanting or for anything, for qualifying to be Krishna conscious, what do we need? We need intense greed. So it's called laulyam. In the acharyas call it laulyam. So we need this intense greed, which is, very sacred. So the sacred, greed in general is a negative, it's an anartha. But we have to have this intense greed for chanting properly, or intense greed for, serving Krishna, serving Hare Nama. So this laulyam is very essential, and this is not, something cheap. So it is not attained by, many, many millions of years of pious activity. Also, you can do, all those, jnana, karma, all those you can do pious activities, but you will not get this qualification. So the only qualification is laulyam. So that greed first we should have, that I want to improve my chanting, I want to serve the Hare Nama properly. And then when we have that laulyam, what happens, we also need Krishna's Shakti. So to be able to chant properly, we definitely need Krishna's Shakti and mercy. And how do we get this? We may not get this directly, but we get this from the heart of pure devotees. So what are pure devotees like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaching us? They are teaching us to chant in the mode of separation. So you get very, exceptional grace of Krishna. So Krishna is extremely pleased when we chant in the mode of separation. So it's called Vipralamba. In Sanskrit terms, it's called Vipralamba Bhav. So what is Vipra? Vipra means distance, and Alamba is to attain. So Vipralamba means to attain that which is at a distance. So something which is very far and we are trying to attain it. So if you think about it, right, we are very far from Krishna. Krishna is in the spiritual world, and we are unfortunately, very far away from him in the material world. So we are trying to attain that which is at a distance. So this is the separation that we have, and we have to feel this every day. Although we talk about it, we are not feeling it. So we are kind of okay. Yeah, you chant some, I should talk about myself. Yeah, I chant some, okay rounds or bad rounds, and then forget about, Krishna for the rest of the day, and not feeling like, he's, so distant from me that I've been separated, and I've fallen somehow in this material world. So this feeling, we have to constantly develop. Again, it is not something artificial, but, with sadhana, it comes. So this feeling of, missing Krishna. So we have to start missing Krishna. And this is effective in opening our heart. So it opens our heart where we can invite Krishna into our heart, where, he can reside. So this mode of separation, or, Vipralamba Bhav is the primary example, or, the Acharya from whom we can learn this mode of separation is, of course, none other than, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than, Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna nahi anya. So he's come in the mood of Radharani. So, and that's why, because Radharani feels the mood of separation from Krishna, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is displaying how that mode of separation can be, because he is in the mood of Radharani. So, who else, a better example can we get other than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who, in various parts of his Leela shows us how that mode of separation is. And then we can also learn this from the six Goswamis. So the six Goswamis also were always crying in Vrindavan in the mood of separation from Krishna. So these two, the Goswamis and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are exemplifying this move for us. So what do we have to do is we have to purify. So this emotion is not artificial. So we have to continue. I mean, we have to continue the sadhana that we are doing, and then when our heart is purified, then we will realize that our need is Krishna, and then perhaps maybe we'll develop this bhava of separation from Krishna. So what Srila Prabhupada writes is, we should follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya and the six Goswamis of Vrindavana, who are always serving Krishna in the mode of separation. So see, they are so elevated. The Goswamis are so elevated, but you will not find them saying that, now I've seen Krishna, or last night, I talked with Krishna, I danced with Krishna. So you've never seen them saying that. So they're always, crying, searching for Krishna, like, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? So that has been their mood always. So we also have to have this mood of, intensely wanting to see Krishna and to be with Krishna. So whether it is possible or not, I don't know. But at least, have this feeling that, you want to see Krishna. And then what do we have to do? We have to keep on, purifying ourselves by devotional service. That's the only thing we are able to do. So follow our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada, and then continue purification through devotional service. So only then will we, come anywhere close to this mood of Vipralamba. Then to explain this bhava a little bit, Maharaj writes a beautiful story. So this is a story of a sadhu who learns from a girl. So once there's a very spiritually advanced sadhu who is living alone in a forest. So he used to sit outside his hut every day at night and meditates. So one night there was like a full moon rising, and then he was meditating, and he hears a rustling sound nearby, like rustling of the leaves, as if somebody's walking on the forest leaves, and then the sound gets closer. So he opens his eyes and sees a young lady running through the forest. So she just runs past the hut, but she doesn't even pay attention to the sadhu. She almost actually knocks him over. She doesn't see him, so she knocks him over, but still she doesn't stop. She rushes and disappears into the night. Then the sadhu is, pretty shocked. He brushes himself and he continues to, do his meditation. And in the morning, what happens again? He hears some noise of, someone moving outside in the forest. And then when he opens his eyes, he sees the same girl rushing towards him. But this time she sees him, she sees the sadhu, she stops and she pays her obeisances. And then the sadhu is wondering, last night she just, ran into me and she didn't even stop to, say sorry or pay her obeisances. And now she's in a, very different mood. And now she's trying to, be nice and um, pay obeisances. So he says, the sadhu says, last night you knocked me over almost and you didn't even excuse yourself and you continue to run. And now you're paying obeisances. I can't take you seriously. Go, go. So the girl says, really? Did I knock you over in last night? And the sadhu says, yeah, yeah, you knocked me over. I was sitting right here. And then you just knocked me over and ran into the forest. So the girl says, oh, I truly didn't realize that I knocked you over. I'm so sorry, Maharaj. I'm very sorry. So she, expresses her apologies. And then the sadhu gets very curious about, her behavior in the night and morning. So then he asks the girl, so why did you do that in the night and why are you doing like this in the morning? So the girl says, that when in the night when I was running into the forest, my heart was somewhere else, and that's why I couldn't see you, because she was actually going to meet her beloved who came, after 1 year. So she had her, her love of her life who came to meet her after 1 year. So she was, only thinking of him and she couldn't think of anybody else, and nothing seemed to stop her from running. Nothing, no obstacles she was paying attention to. So she just ran to him. And then, but now I've met the love of my life, and then I'm returning home. So that's the, reason she narrates. And then the sadhu immediately, he doesn't get upset or anything. He actually recognizes his own error. So he thinks to himself, like, if I had a little bit of the eagerness of meeting my Lord that this girl has for meeting her boyfriend, then, I would be different. So I would be, much more devotional. So he's saying that she's so engrossed, this lady is so engrossed in her lover. And I'm also, focusing on love, but, I don't have the yearning or the longing that this girl has to see, her lover. So this is an example of, how so sadhu is learning from this girl that, if towards an ordinary man you can, have so much feelings of love and yearning, who's, gone from her only for 1 year, then, how much more yearning we should have for the Lord, from whom we've been separated for millions of lifetimes. So the sadhu really learned something from this girl, and then he's very gratefully accepts this lesson of absorption that this girl had for the boyfriend, and then he applies it to his own meditation. So this is I thought it's such a wonderful story. It's teaching, at least it's taught me so much that how we should feel this separation from Krishna, which is our most important relationship. So this feeling of separation and longing, we should try and imbibe, at least not artificially, but when we hear such stories and we hear Acharya's prayers, then maybe a little bit of it we will also imbibe. And then this mood is established by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Siksashtakam, we hear in verse 5, right? He says, Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau kripaya tava pada pankaja sita duli sadrisham vichintaya. So he says, Oh my Lord, O Krishna, son of Maharaja Nanda, I am your eternal servant. Tanuja Kinkaram. Kinkaram means I'm your eternal servant. Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavambhutava means somehow, due to my own bad activities, I fall into this material world, into this horrible world of miscience. And he says, Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja Sthita Duli Sadrisham Vichintaya. So please, be causelessly merciful to me. Consider me as a particle and put me in your dust at your lotus feet. So Sthita Duli Sadrisham Vichintaya. So he's asking him to be picked up from this, place that he's currently, and to be placed in the dust of his Lord's lotus feet. So this verse also expresses the mood of longing for Krishna, and so this is a little bit of the mood. That's why we sing Sikshashtakam prayers in the morning. Every day we should, actually, for those who are not already, while doing japa, right before japa, it's always a good practice to do the Sikshashtakam prayers, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though he wrote just these 8 verses, they are so potent in giving us, the right mode of chanting. So whenever Maharaj says, whenever we sing kirtana or chant japa, so kirtana is, the musical form of the japa, of taking the Hare Krishna mantra, then we have to sing in the spirit of separation with some longing for the Lord. So we have to feel that, yes, the Lord is very far away, and we have, somehow fallen into this material world. And so we are calling out for him. So this calling out has to be there for him to, come and pick us up. So that is the mood that we should chant in, Maharaj says. So Vipralamba is actually, when you practice this separation, what Maharaj is saying is, yes, externally we are very far. The Lord is very far from us. But internally, when we practice this mood, what happens? The Lord comes and sits in your heart. So it's an internal presence of the Lord, but outwardly absence and internal presence is there in this Vipralamba, is what Maharaj says. So externally, we may feel apart from Krishna, but that internal connection will be there. So that is how we should be. Then, whereas, material relationship, Maharaj explains, material relationships don't work like this. So something, you long for, you may not get it, or you can feel very acutely, that thing is missing, but that thing may not come. Like suppose, you want a Mercedes car or something, you could be longing for that car for a long time, but you won't get it, right? But here, longing for Krishna, they say, actually brings him into your heart. So experiencing his absence actually paradoxically increases his presence. So this is what, the gopis and Radharani also express, right? So they say love in union and there's love in separation. So Gopikas and Radharani could be, love in union when in presence of Krishna, and then in absence of Krishna. So the acharyas tell us that, love in separation is, much, much higher. So the bhava that Radharani feels in the absence of Krishna is much more than her bhava in presence of Krishna, when Krishna is next to her, because this is supposed to be sweeter. So this is Vipralamba bhava, because internally the connection is much more strong when somebody is physically not present. I think some of us may have experienced, little bit, like, I know, a trace of something that, somehow some of our loved ones go away for a long time and we start missing them, and then remembering them is a sweet experience. So like that, but it doesn't come close. This doesn't come even close to what we are experiencing in this material world. So then in the next verse, 6 Ashtam, it says, Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadaruddhaya gira pulakairnichitam vapkada tavanama grahane bhavishyati. So, O dear Lord, when will my eyes be beautified by filling with tears that constantly glide down as I chant your holy name? When will my voice falter and all the hairs on my body stand erect in the transcendental happiness when I chant your holy name? Again, this is a very elevated mode for us to attain. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that, he's speaking this verse with distress. That, he's really, missing the Lord, and he's lamenting, he's feeling wretched. And he says, I can't go on like this forever. Please accept me. My life is useless without you. So let me be your servant, And he says, let me be your servant and give me as a salary. So he's asking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking a salary from Krishna. So take me as a servant, and in exchange, you have to pay me, right? Because I'm your servant, you have to pay me something. And what is that something? That something he asks is ecstatic love for you. So, accept me as your servant, and in return, give me some ecstatic love for you. And I don't want anything monetary, he says. So please, just want this tiny compensation for my efforts to serve you, he says. So please give me. So he's begging Krishna to give him a little bit of premadhana, which is ecstatic love, the premadhana. So in exchange for that servitude, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking for a little bit of premadhana from Sri Krishna. Otherwise, he's saying, I'm the brink of my death, and I cannot maintain my life anymore. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again, I feel very unqualified to discuss this, but in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we come across this, right? How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, sorry, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expresses, his mode of separation. Actually, there's a whole, chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 14 in Antya Leela, how, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels his separation from Krishna. So many verses are dedicated how, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always, looking, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? And he has, those eight Ashtavikaras, the ecstatic symptoms he manifests. And several times, his associates like Swarup Damodar Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami used to be around him, kind of guarding him in his room. But sometimes, his room doors would be locked, but, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not be in the room. So he would run, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? So he was in such deep separation from him that, he would run out of the room, out of the locked doors also, nobody knows. And then they also describe, Chaitanya Charitamrita also describes how he used to faint. So once he looks at a sand dune in the ocean, and which reminds him of Govardhana Hill. So he runs into that ocean to embrace that Govardhana Hill. And then they describe, how he faints. And I believe when he faints out of ecstasy, all the ecstatic symptoms are manifest, and he actually elongates. So he becomes very tall, his limbs become very tall, and they say that, his joints actually elongate. So there are spaces come between his joints, and then his skin is covering. So all these symptoms he used to manifest. Of course, nothing like that we should imitate or anything, but so he manifests in, many leelas, like when he was in Gambhira, in Jagannath Puri, he manifests that. Then when he goes into this river, he manifests that. And, people used to like bring him back and chant continuously to make, him come into the external consciousness so many times. And then we know of the story where, the woman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri looking at the Lord. And actually when he's looking, when he comes to Jagannath temple, he actually sees Krishna, because out of his love for Krishna, because he's Radharani. So whenever we're talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to imagine he's Radharani because he's in the mood of Radharani. So he's seeing Krishna playing the flute everywhere in that temple. And then one woman who's very eager to see, Lord Jagannath, holds on to that stamba is there, no, in the temple room. So she holds on to that, and then in her eagerness to climb, in her eagerness to see the deity of Jagannath, she puts her leg on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shoulder. And then Govinda, who's a personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he chastises her. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, don't chastise her. He says, you're uncivilized because you're chastising this woman who's climbing the Garuda Stamba, and let us see the Lord to her satisfaction. And then he also says that, he actually pays his obeisances to this lady, and he says, Lord Jagannath has not given me so much eagerness as you have. So she's fully absorbed. She's so absorbed that she doesn't know what she's doing. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I wish I had a little bit of your eagerness to see the Lord. So I mean, he's saying that, but always eager, always searching, where is Krishna, where is Krishna. So that is the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he used to manifest, and this mood is coming to us, in the form of six Ashtakam prayers, and that's why very important to reflect on six Ashtakam for all of us every day. Second, let me share again. Yeah, let me share. Yes. So yeah. So then so this Vipralambha is the feeling of separation, and so it's kind of a paradoxic feeling where their absence will make them actually more closer to your heart. So this is the mood, again little difficult to understand, but this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us. And then he also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually this one also he talks of something he's calling beggar of the mind. So he looks at his mind as uh, he's begging from the mind, and he also calls as a yogi of his mind. So yogi of my mind, he calls. So every evening, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear poetry from Vidyapati, Chandi Dasa, Jaydev Goswami, and all of these poets have described the love of Vrindavan residents to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he used to be very exchange some very attractive transcendental dealings, and submerged in the ecstasy of these stories, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us how to inwardly orient our heart. It means open our heart to Krishna. So he's trying to give us this. So in the heart, we have several, waves or desires we have, it's written. So these are called vrittis. Vrittis are thought waves or desires. So when we have, when our heart is impure, we get negative vrittis. So we run towards material enjoyment. And then when the heart is pure, and that's why, this purification of heart is so important. When the heart is pure, then our vrittis means our waves, thought waves run towards Krishna. So, to show this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compares his mind to a beggar who abandons his home to beg for the wealth of Premadana. So he's comparing his mind to a beggar who leaves his home. So he's leaving his home and going to getting the Premadana. So the beggar is expert in meditation, and it says he's dressed in a quilt of anxiety. So the quilt that the beggar wears is the anxiety. What is the anxiety for? For Krishna. So oh Krishna, he says. And then he's very emaciated and wears a turban. So his turban is compared to greed, greed that we should have for Krishna. And then the bangles that this beggar wears is compared to the distress. So how much distress we should have in our heart of being separated from Krishna. So this beggar is constantly hearing the descriptions of Vrindavana pastimes. So this is a little analogy they give. And then from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, we see that he frequently actually receives darshana of Krishna in his vision. And this may serve as a very potent flood of Vipralamba for him. And I just described how he was in Jagannath Puri and all. And then so this mood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving, so this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood in Gambhira. And then our Acharya say that the mood of Gaudiyas, which is us, we are in the Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya. As you all know, our Sampradaya, Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya is a very, very, high Sampradaya. So the highest form of bhakti, which is, love of Radha Krishna. Again, many of the Sampradayas don't even allude to Radharani. So our philosophy is, to obtain this premadana of this divine couple. And in what mood we should be is Gaudiya should always be in the mood of a beggar. So to illustrate this, from actually, why should we be like a beggar? Why should we be like this, mood of longing? Because Krishna himself reveals actually. So in the Adi Purana, Krishna reveals, uh, something to Arjuna. Actually, he's saying, Gatva cha mama namani nartayen mama sannidhau Idau bravemi te satya kretoha tenacharjuna. So Arjuna, I tell you the truth. He purchases me who makes my name dance on his tongue. So this he's telling Arjuna. So this is from Hari Bhakti Vilasa. And then he says, Gatva chamam namani rudanti mama sannidhau tena mahaparikreto nanyakreto janardanau. So he who purchases me, who purchases him, one is one whose name means whose tongue has, name dancing. So Harinam dancing on their tongue. So such a person can purchase Krishna. And then who calls out my name. So calls out my name how? In crying. So cry tears of longing. So rudanti mama sannidhau. So Rudanti is to cry. So somebody who cries, for Krishna. So cries because Krishna is away. Cries in longing for Krishna. So such a person can purchase me. And he also says there is no other price to purchase me. So what is the price to purchase Krishna? Crying out for him, crying out in longing. So those he says, so the who sing my names and cry tears of longing. So in our japa, when we cry for Krishna, because we are longing for him, we are yearning from him, because we are at a distance from him, this is what purchases Krishna. So this is given in Adi Purana. So it is not, something that Acharyas are just saying. Krishna himself says this. So, and Krishna also says that, he doesn't belong to yogis who meditate, who can, travel at great speed of the mind throughout the universe, nor he is with jnanis, nor with the philosophers, nor with karmakandis. He's only purchased by somebody whose heart is longing for him. So see, Krishna is not easy, right? Attaining Krishna is not easy. So if our hearts are not longing for Krishna, then, why would he be there? So, so to such a devotee who's actually longing, then Krishna will say, I surrender to you now, you can have me. So Krishna can actually be purchased. So this is how our mood should be. Acharya say, so it's not like, okay, let me try to be Krishna conscious, let me do some of the, regulative principles. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No, it is not like that. So, whatever it is, I want you, Krishna, or, I'm going to do this bhakti process. So it should be, one pointed focus. It's not like, ठीक है देखेंगे या काम चलाएंगे या चलेगा, not like that. So Krishna wants our 100% surrender. So 100% longing. So unless, you long, I mean, even in the material world, right? If somebody longs for something, only they will get it, or they go for it. So we have to long for Krishna. We have to yearn for Krishna. Only then, Krishna will be with us, and we can purchase Krishna. So, so this is a mode of Gaudiyas. So chanting in Vipralamba should be our mode. So when Radharani, again, Radharani is great example, right, of this Vipralamba. So when she is away from Krishna, she cries like torrents of tears until she faints. So this is a picture that, Radharani is actually fainted from separation from Krishna. And actually, I was looking at a very beautiful verse that Radharani says, yeah. So when Krishna leaves Vrindavan, and they're all the gopis and Radharani is in the mood of separation. Then Radharani almost faints, and she says something. She says this verse. So she's lamenting greatly in absence of Krishna. Actually, this is probably when Uddhava comes. So when Uddhava comes, she displays all this separation, and you have the Brahmara Geet and all. So in separation from absence of Krishna, she says, I Dina Dayadranatha, He Mathuranatha, Kadavalokasse, Hridayam Tvad Aloka Kataram, Daita Ramyati Kim Karomyaham. So she refers to him as O Dina Dayadranatha. So master who is compassionate about the fallen. So Dayadranatha means, you're the master for all, you're most compassionate. You're compassionate to the fallen souls, fallen people. I mean, like me, well, she's feeling herself to be, in a very vulnerable position because he's not there. And then she also calls him He Mathura Natha because he has left Vrindavan. From being a Vrindavan Natha, he has become a Mathura Natha. And she's saying, Kadavalokyase. So when will I see you again? When will I be able to see you again? He promises, that he will return to Vrindavan, but Krishna doesn't return. Of course, there are versions of how Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, but physically he hasn't returned to Vrindavan. He sends Uddhava. So she says, when will I see you? When will I see you? And then Hrudayam Tvat Aloka Kataram Daita means I have, this great pain. So my heart is paining from not seeing you. Oh my dear, Ramyati Kim Karomyaham. So I'm so overwhelmed. Kim Karomyaham is what do I do? So what do I do? I'm not seeing you. You're not coming back. So what do I do? So like that, in that mood, she actually, faints. So this is her, bhava for Krishna. So maybe, little bit we can feel like we are also, separated from Krishna. So there's a nice, I don't know if I should share. There's a poem called Sakhi Keva Sunaila Shamanama. So this describes how Radharani.
What?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Maggie, huh? What?
Somebody is unmuted. So, so there's a poem which I'll read, how, Radharani feels. I'll just read the translation. It's called Sakhi Keva Sunaila Shamanama Kanera Bitaradiya Marame Pasila Akula Karila Mora Prana. So, oh my dear Sakhi, who is that person who first made me hear this name Shama? When it enters my heart through my ears, I become overwhelmed with impatience. So, this is Radharani is telling her Sakhis. Then I don't know how much sweetness fills this name. It is so sweet that my tongue will not leave it for a moment. As I go on repeating this name, I become completely absorbed. Oh Sakhi, how will I ever be able to meet him? If that person's name alone has a power to put me in such a condition, I cannot even imagine what my condition would be if I were to touch his body. Wherever he stays, how can young women maintain their principles? Then in my heart, I want to forget him, but I cannot. Now I cannot understand what the remedy is, what to do. Simply by displaying his beauty, that Shama has destroyed the whole dynasty of young cultured ladies. So she's describing, how Shama Sundara has stolen her heart. So this Shama Sundara, Krishna came as the golden hued Gaura Sundara, and we are seeing him display the mood of Radharani. So yeah. So all our acharyas are telling us this, this mood of Gaura Sundara, which is Radharani's mood displayed here. Then Maharaj says, where do we start? This is all, good. But, where do we start? We are not there. We are not feeling any bit of separation from Krishna. We are happy in our own material world. So what should we do? So where do we start? So Srila Prabhupada once says that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. So he has no necessity, right? He has, renounced everything. He has no necessity, but still, why is he crying? Why is he crying, when he has sannyasi and given up his whole world? So he doesn't want anything. Why is he crying? Because he's crying for Govinda. So he's crying for Krishna. So like that, even for us, that is the real necessity. So, Shikshashtakam, he says, Govinda Virahiname. So without Govinda, everything seems very empty. So like that, even for us, we should feel the essential need for Krishna. So, we've come to this process understanding, right? We've been told, time and again in SSR and all that, nothing in this material world will give us happiness because it's all material and our soul wants, some spiritual experience. So we all have understood that, until we connect with Krishna, until we re-establish that relationship with Krishna, then we will not be happy. So that is the essential need we all have for Krishna. So that necessity, we should keep reminding ourselves. And then when we go deep within our hearts and, every morning we reflect on this separation, then, we will understand that Krishna is our true necessity. So then if we don't feel this, what should we do? So how to either, feel this necessity of Govinda or to feel this separation, what should we do is we should go to a Vaishnava who can give us this mood, because a Vaishnava who has purchased the Lord. So how did he purchase the Lord? Lord just said to Arjuna that, anybody who cries in separation for me, I get purchased. So these Shuddha Vaishnavas, the pure devotees, have purchased the Lord by doing this bhajana in mode of separation. And so they know how that is. So, people like us, if we want to imbibe a little bit of this mood, then we should go and learn how to perform this bhajana from such Vaishnavas. So that's the only way. That's the only way we are going to get. So we will not get it otherwise. Again, this book has many places. It just writes because only somebody. See, suppose you're poor and you need some money. So how can you get money? You can only get money from a rich person because he has money. So somebody can give you something that they have and we don't have. So right now, we don't have love for Krishna. We don't have separation for Krishna. So how do we get? We have to go to a person that has love for Krishna, that has this prema dhana, and that has this vipralamba bhava. And these are the pure devotees. And fortunately, we are in a movement that we have such pure devotees in our movement. So we should be able to approach them, worship them, beg at their lotus feet, associate with them, serve them, and try to get this little mood from them. Because otherwise, without such Vaishnavas, it is not possible, they say. So that's why we get it from acharyas. So our acharyas are teaching us this mood, and so many beautiful prayers in separation are there, and especially by Bhaktivinoda Thakura. So the acharyas are teaching us this mood. So one sample verse from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur I'll read because it really so many beautiful bhajans are there, and Maharaj actually recommends when we are chanting. Initially, our few rounds may be nice, but then we lose that mood and then it becomes like a counting game. Okay, let me finish my 16 rounds. My mind is not focusing, or I have to finish and go and cook at 7 o'clock or something like that. So that mood doesn't, even if you start, when we pray the acharyas and when we pray to our spiritual master, and then say our Sikshashtakam prayers and then start to chant, then that mood may last for some time, but it may not last for all our 16 rounds. So Maharaj recommends, in between, when you feel like your mood is not proper, then, you can take a 5-minute break and you'll read some verses like from acharyas, from glorified acharyas like, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So many, that Vaishnava songbook, if you see, so many bhajans are there that we can, spend 5 minutes in between chanting and then get back to that mood. So one such prayer, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing, Anadi karma phale podi bhavanar ve jale Tari Bere na Dheki Upaya. So I'll not read the Bengali part. So he's saying, due to my past activities, I have fallen into ocean of nescience and I do not find any means of coming out of this great ocean. And he says, A Vishaya Hala Hala. Hala Hale means poison, a big poison. So this material world that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is in, he's feeling like it's an ocean of poison. Why? Because I'm trying to do sense engagement, sense enjoyment. But it is in doing that effort. So we are also trying to enjoy this material world. In that, what is happening? Our hearts are burning. So diva nishi hiya jwale. So that burning sensation is going on day and night, 24 hours a day. Why? Because we are not connecting to Krishna and we are enjoying the material nature. That jwale means that fire is going on 24 hours a day. And mana kabu sukha nahi paya. So because of this, my man is never happy. So it's not satisfied because I'm engaging in this sense enjoyment and I'm in the poison ocean of poison. And then he says, I'm always making hundreds and thousands of plans to become happy, but actually all these plans are giving me pain 24 hours a day. So asha pasha sata sata. So I'm always, I have this asha for this material enjoyment. Pravritti urmira tahe khela. So my position is like one who's being dashed again and again by the waves of the ocean. So we are all in this material ocean, right? Like waves are tossing and turning us. We are suffering, and then still not realizing. So, and besides that, he's saying, besides these waves of, material world hitting us, there are so many, thieves and rogues. So who are these thieves and rogues and highway robbers? Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls them as thieves, rogues, and highway robbers. So who are these? These are lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, madness. So, all those six anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, matsarya. So all these are my enemies, he's saying, and they're always present, and I'm always afraid of them. So in this way, my life is becoming advanced, or I'm coming to the end of my life, he's saying. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying this. And then, although this is my position, of things are cheating me. Which one? One is jnana, one is karma. So mental speculation I'm doing and fruitive activity. So I'm after jnana and karma, and these are also bothering me, he's saying. And then after misleading me, they bring me to the seashore and push me down within the sea. So all these, bhakti has to be jnana, karma, anavritam, right? But we are not able to do that. So this jnana and karma, what are they doing? They are pushing me down into the sea. And is saying, under these circumstances, my dear Krishna, you're only my friend. So, ye he no samaya bandhu, tumi Krishna kripa sindhu. So, you're my only shelter. You're my only friend. You're my only kripa sindhu. So, your ocean of mercy is saying, kripa kori tolo muro bale. So, I have no strength to get out of this ocean. So, by ourselves, we cannot get out of this, material ocean. So, he's praying, kripa karo, kripa karo. So, give me your mercy. So I'm praying unto your lotus feet to kindly pick me up. So pick me up. So Krishna has to pick us up because we are so fallen. So after all, I'm your eternal servant. Somehow or the other, I've fallen into this ocean. So please pick me up and fix me as particles of the dust of your lotus feet. So this is in a similar tone that, we've heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sing the Shikshashtakam, right? Yeah, the first one where he says, pick me up and put me as a dust particle at your lotus feet. So then Deho Bhakti Vinaya Ashraya means give Ashraya to Bhakti Vinoda. So yeah, Sita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. So that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. And then I'm your eternal servant. Somehow, Bhuliya Mayara Pas. So somehow I've forgotten and fallen into his network. And my dear Lord, kindly save me. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer. And this is what, the Acharyas are teaching us. So, Sri Prabhupada also describes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. So he's always, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? So he cries like a madman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Goswamis are following him. So this is the way Maharaj is saying. So this is for us, instructions for us, lose your uncooperative mind to Krishna, or at least begin with the awareness. I am here and you are over there. I made such a mistake when I broke off from our relationship. You have always tried to come and help me, but I have persistently ignored you. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? So this is a starting point, for us for a deeper and more fulfilling japa and kirtana practice. So this genuine feeling of, remorse that we have separated from Krishna, and despite him calling us and reaching out for us, we have come and fallen into this material world. So we should repent. We should repent. What have I done? What have I done? And this will allow us to access our deeper feelings. So, how to get this mood? This is not something, because today's class is there, we all are suddenly tomorrow going to feel like this. No, it's not going to happen. So we cannot artificially imitate this mood of separation. It'll only, end up in something like an imitation or imagination, something cheap it'll become. So we should not imitate this mood of separation. So what should we do? What should we do is we should go to the great devotees. So we should go to the pure devotees like a beggar and ask them. So Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Prema Janme Teno Puna Mukhyanga. So, the root cause of bhakti is association of advanced devotees. So sadhu sangha. So today, what should I do? I'm not getting this mood. I'm not feeling separated from Krishna. So what should I do? I should go to a sadhu who's feeling that mood. I should go. So it's just like, I think I told this example last time also. If you go into a perfume store, you don't have any perfume, like nobody's put any perfume on you. But if you go in a perfume store because everybody is testing or it's all there in the air, some of the perfume gets caught onto your clothes, or when you come out of the store, you'll also feel a little bit of that perfume. So like that, whenever we don't have the love, we don't have the mood of separation, but whenever we go to sadhus who have, so they all have this perfume, so a little bit can get onto our clothes. So that's what we should do. So we should always seek the association of advanced devotees who are in this mood. And Krishna Prema Janme Teno Puna Mukhyanga. So even after your love awakens for Krishna, so initially we should go to sadhus for this love. And then as we are continuing on our devotional service, we should again, seek devotee sadhu sangha. Because even in an advanced stage, this association with devotees, he says, is still essential. So it is essential because we have to receive more and more bhakti, because bhakti can drain away from us. So we have to keep on going and seeking sadhu sangha for us to get this more. And then also why? Because why sadhu sangha? Because they said devotion is infectious, right? So it is infectious. Like, Maharaj gives a nice example. Like in where he was in South Africa, there was a funeral procession. So in like Maharaj's culture, people don't like cry out loudly when somebody dies or something. So they're not very expressive about their emotions. Whereas in India, we do that. So even there in so I think this is in India, and he was in South Africa or something. So when the funeral procession was going, everybody was crying terribly because this person passed away. So although Maharaj's culture is not used to crying like that, even for his own relatives, because even I've noticed when I was in US, they're so stoic and so composed when relative dies. Actually, I was very amazed. In fact, I asked somebody also, like one of my front desk secretaries' mother had died, and she was so stoic and so poised, I want to say, like, no, big crying. She was dressed nicely. She was very, of course, sober and sullen, and they went through the funeral process. And I said, this is your mother. So I mean, not in a negative way, but I was trying to explore, what is their culture. And she simply said, we don't cry. We just believe that, my mother went to heaven and I'm happy with her presence there. So they don't cry. So like that, even so Maharaj, when he, that's his culture. So when Maharaj saw these people crying in the procession, like many, one after the other, he saw many people crying. And then Maharaj also felt that emotion, like, he also, had some tears for this unknown person. So that is what infection is. So if you see something being done around you, then, you also catch some of it. So like that, so devotion is infectious, fortunately. And that's why when we take association of sadhus, then, our desert like heart can get a little bit of, we can fertilize our desert like heart by the bhakti of these acharyas. So, and that's why, who Srila Prabhupada, I think, always says, like we must read the prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Who said this? Yeah. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura has written many books about this awakening devotional feelings in our heart towards the Lord. And so every Maharaj or even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, has recommended that all of us should read books written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. And one book I have it here is Bhajana Rahasya. In this Bhajana Rahasya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur teaches us how to uplift our consciousness and maximize our absorption in chanting. So this is just one book, and there are many other songs and verses. And then there are many more literary works. Fortunately, in our philosophy, there's one beautiful book. I believe I didn't read this, Prarthana, songs or prayers of loving devotion by Narottam Das Thakur, by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. I believe very wonderful book. And then there is Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika by also Sri Narottam Das Thakur. So what Jagannath Das Babaji used to say is, love of Godhead is very cheap, and people would think, why is he saying that? And he used to say only 4 rupees. So if you want love of Godhead, you only spend 4 rupees. So go to the marketplace and buy this book, Prarthana and Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika. So that's what Jagannath Das Babaji used to say. So maybe 2 rupees a book. So you just spend 4 rupees and read these books, and then you will get the love of Godhead that these acharyas have so beautifully written for us. So we have everything. We have everything. We just have to utilize them. So, and pure devotees, why again pure, like antennas? So they absorb this mood of separation or the prema dhana they have, and then like antennas collect all the signals, the transmission signals, and give it to us in the form of a TV, like that. So pure devotees do this for us. So pure devotees make our kirtana real. So kirtana in this book could be japa and kirtana. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I believe, used to say, even if you attend a kirtana or somebody is doing kirtana, it should be either by a pure devotee who understands this who is a pure devotee, or then at least it should be under the auspicious guidance of a pure devotee, even kirtana, because only then only they have that mood, so they can give us. Otherwise, our kirtana will become just like music. So they have the shakti. So just like the antenna has power to absorb these transmitted signals, the pure devotees have this potency to absorb Krishna Shakti, because eventually you need Krishna's Shakti to attract himself and to be able to chant nicely. So that's why we should always take, shelter. So this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has repeatedly emphasized. And then sometimes the Lord, in order to feel this mm, bhava of longing, sometimes he makes his devotees, wait. So that longing to develop, same thing, right? For somebody who says, I'll come in 2 days, and then they say 4 days, and then 6 days. So like that, if somebody posts, our longing also increases. Uh, yeah, so it's like, for us, I think we may not have much of an experience. All our longing nowadays is like, when you open a YouTube lecture and it is what happened, it is downloading, then that is our wait. So we are longing for some, social media thing to come, and I think that's our most longing nowadays. We are so used to, like instantly things are coming, but then that's a bit of our longing, material longing. So here Maharaj gives a beautiful story again. So once there's a saint is living in, I mean, these pictures actually don't represent that story at all, but I couldn't find anything else. So one saint was living in Nandagrama, and he worships Krishna and Balram all his life. He's very old, with his hair gray, and, his teeth have fallen out. So a very old sadhu, but all his life he had worshipped Krishna and Balram. So one day he comes to Krishna Balram deities, and then he's speaking with them. He says, you're not fair. You never reciprocate with my efforts to please you. I have worshipped you my whole life, and every day I beg from the villagers to and bring food to bring you something to eat. And then I have called you countless times, but you have never responded. So I've always lived my life according to principles of Srila Rupa Goswami. And every day I called you in my kirtana, and you have not given me any sign that you care, not even once. So he's kind of, angry with the Lord, and, in a very chastising mood, he's talking. You just stand there. So all my life I served you, I did everything. I begged for you. I worshipped you. I served you. And then you just stand there. You don't talk to me. And even when thieves come and, steal everything from me, you're just standing there and watching them beat me. So I think sometime, the thieves came and beat him up, and you still stand there and ignore me. So he's chastising them, and he said, now I'm very old and I will die soon. So now what I'll do, I will leave you because you have not reciprocated with me. I will leave you. I'll go to Varsana to Srimati Radharani. She's more Karunamayi, so she's not cruel like you. So I'll go and serve Radharani is what he says. And then gets up, and he's crying actually. By the time, he is so upset with Krishna Balram, he's upset, and he takes a stick and he starts walking. He takes a stick and kamandalu, his water pot, and he starts walking, and he says, you can take care of yourselves now. I'm no longer going to take care of you. I'm going. Jai Shri Radhe. And he starts walking. So the whole village listens to what he's saying. And then people are very shocked, because all his life he stayed there, serving Krishna Balram. So he said, everybody is like, Baba, where are you going? Don't go. You don't have the strength to walk anywhere. And then if you go, you'll die on the road. Or even if you make it to Varsana, then who's going to take care of Krishna Balram here? And the sadhu says, don't stop me. They can take care of themselves. So Radha, Krishna Balram can take care of themselves. I took care of them enough. Now I'm not going to take care of them anymore. So they tried to convince him, and as he was walking out of the village, then they followed him. They followed him and tried to convince him, and he wasn't listening. So he's just walking. So villagers tried to convince him, and one by one they were returning back because he's not listening. And then he comes to the outskirts of the village, and then he notices that only two boys are left with him, and those boys say, Baba, don't go. And the sadhu says, leave me alone, let me go out from this village. And then the two kids say, what about Krishna Balram? You've taken care of them so nicely. So he says, I don't care anymore, they can take care of themselves. I'm going to Radharani. So the boys really, persist, Baba, please stay, Baba, please stay. And then they come on each sides, and then one holds the left hand and one holds the right hand. And then Baba keeps saying, leave me alone, I'm going. And then at one point he looks at them. So he takes a close look at them. And suddenly he notices that, one boy was very fair and one boy was very dark. So then he understands that, they are Krishna and Balram. So they gave him the direct darshana. So then the Baba was, consumed in so much bliss. And then Krishna Balram asked Baba, now what do you want to do? Will you return? And we need your seva. We need milk from you. So we have come all the way to persuade you to come back and give us milk. And then Krishna says, actually, you can. We will take you to Vrindavana, and there Yashoda Maya will give you milk, and that milk you can bring to us. So then he comes back actually back to his village where his deities are. And then next morning, the villagers see that he's having all these ecstatic symptoms of devotional ecstasy. And then the next day he leaves his body. And then and then he's serving them there in Golok Vrindavan. So this is like a native local Vrindavan story. So sometimes the Lord tests you. So he pushes you to a corner till that longing reaches a boiling point. So this was a beautiful story, I thought. So actually, there are not many exercises in this chapter because it is something very internal. So there's not going to be any exercise that can bring you to this mood. But just what Maharaj says is a little bit of help you can take from couple things. So what Maharaj recommends is chanting with your spiritual master. Are you all there, Hare Krishna?
Yes, Mataji, very much.
Yes, so first exercise, Maharaj says, so because Bhakti Shakti that we need to chant properly comes from a devotee, from a pure devotee. So that pure devotee for us is our spiritual master. So that's why we should chant with our spiritual master as much as possible is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur recommends. So because we may not have a physical presence of our spiritual master, we can put a picture of his and then remember the Guru while we chant. Then one example they give from Chaitanya Charitamrita where the hunter worships Narada Muni and also Parvata Muni. So this hunter, what he does is, when he's transformed, he goes to the courtyard, spreads a straw mat for both his gurus, Narada Muni and Parvata Muni, and then he asks them to sit down. Like, he lays a mat for them, an asan for them. He gives them water to wash his feet and offers them flowers and all. So this is something, if we have a physical presence of Guru, yes, we should do it, but we may not have that physical presence. So what we can do is we can worship Guru in our heart. So what should we do? So again, we have the, although the mind is, very treacherous, very tricky and all that, but we also have a benediction of doing Manasa Puja. So we can always, pray to our spiritual master, worship our spiritual master in our mind. So what Srila Prabhupada recommends is in your mind, or, in the house, we can actually do it, not physically, but with the photographs, you can do it. So every morning you can offer your spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada one seat, some water to wash his feet, some water to drink like arghya, and some flowers. And then with spiritual master's permission, and then begin chanting. So this method, they say, is very useful. So it can be done physically. I mean, physically you can have pictures. Actually, I started doing this. I keep Srila Prabhupada's and my Guru Maharaj's picture, sort of, do a 5-minute worship to them and pray intensely to them that, the chanting should improve. And then what happens by the power of one's devotion to his spiritual master, one crosses over the ocean of birth and death. So the spiritual master gives Lord Krishna's mercy. So that's why we can do either this Manasi Puja or a real physical worship we can do. So this helps. So this exercise is again, same thing that we've done, sit erect, the yojana. So sit erect, take a few deep breaths. So you do this, so I don't know if you all want to do it. So you can sit straight and stretch out, keep your spine very straight, like as if, a thread is tied and pulled. So you should sit very straight and keep your spine erect. And with the eyes closed, take a few deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. And this breathing helps your mind clear all other thoughts. So we're preparing our mind to let go of all other material thoughts. And that this time is for Krishna. So this breathing helps because it moves your air, your pranavayu upward, and also it oxygenates your brain better. So your mind can get into a better focus. So do that, and then now imagine that you have a beautiful seat for Srila Prabhupada and your Guru Maharaj. So just imagine in your mind. You can do it now. So you're breathing, your mind is now very clear. So imagine in your mind, imagine two asanas you put in your mind. Make Srila Prabhupada sit on one, make your Guru Maharaj sit on one, your Guru Maharaj or aspiring Guru Maharaj sit on one. Offer them some, wash their feet. In real sense, you cannot physically wash their feet. We cannot touch them. But, in my mind, I can wash my spiritual master's feet. So wash it, put some flowers on their feet, and then pray intensely that, this 2 hours I'm going to call out the Lord, and that, they should bless me. They should bless me that, I'm able to call out the Lord in these 2 hours of japa. Then begin chanting in association. So they're sitting there. It's kind of, what we do in Yatra. Yatra, we all run where our Guru Maharajas are chanting. So with them in front, we are chanting. So that helps. So similarly, in your mind, you've already created a picture. Like I have a picture of them sitting in front of me, and then that mood comes. So, so this practice you can do every day, and actually it helps. Again, some rounds it'll be nice, and then some other rounds may not be. So when that mood is going away, you can repeat it. You can repeat this, or you can pick up a verse from a book and read it. So actually, exercise 2 is that. So exercise 2, they say that or reading prayers or singing songs can fill our hearts with devotion and release us from mechanical chanting. So suppose, halfway our chanting has become very mechanical, you can read these verses, especially, those something like Sikshashtakam, we can read, or Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives one more prayer. I'll read this, just one paragraph, and we'll end it. So he says, what is happening to me as I repeatedly chant the holy names? Gaite gaite namaki dasha hoilo, Krishna nitya dasa mui hridayos purilo. So what is happening to me as I repeatedly chant the holy names? I have come to understand that I am Krishna's eternal servant. So chanting, you're understanding that. Jani lama mae pase ye jada jagate govinda virahe dukha paye nana mate. So this is also in the mood of Sishashtakam. I've realized that due to my separation from Govinda, I have been entangled in the network of Maya in this material world, and thus I'm suffering material miseries in various ways. Ara ye samsara mora nahi lage bhalo, kanha jai Krishna heri ye chinta vishalo. So this worldly life no longer brings me any pleasure. The only thing I want to know is what I must do in order to see Krishna. So some prerequisites, we should, again, my God brother always says, like, as long as you think this material world is good, this material world is giving you pleasure or will give you pleasure, your family will give you pleasure, they are your saviors, my relatives are good, my life is good, this world is good, then this mood won't come. So you have to strongly either experience or believe that, this worldly life no longer is bringing me any pleasure. How many of you still think, the world has great things to offer us? Anybody? Great hope for this world?
No, Mataji.
Yeah. So that's how we should.
Oh, yeah.
Either it comes in difficult experiences, or you at least see what the acharyas are saying and learn from them if you don't want direct experience of that. So he says, the only thing I want to know is what I must do in order to see Krishna. So see his desire. So he's saying, what should I do to see Krishna? So that should be our meditation. If I'm not seeing Krishna now, then what must I do? Then he says, Kandite mora aankhi barisoya, barsa dhara heno chakshe hoila udaya. My eyes are filled with tears which pour down like torrents of rain, like the downpour of monsoon season. So Bhaktivinoda is crying profusely for Krishna. Nimeshe hoilo mora satayuga sama, Govinda virahe ara sahite akshama. So now one moment appears to be equal to 100 yugas. In fact, I'm simply unable to tolerate separation from Govinda. So, Govinda Virahename. So he's in, separation. So just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yugaitam Nimishena, Chakshusham Pravishaitam, Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam, Govinda Virahename. So one moment. So Nimishena is, the moment that we blink, I believe. The 1 second that we blink is Nimishena. And how does it appear? Without Govinda, it appears like 12 years. So that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. And here also Bhaktivinoda Thakura is saying that, it is equal to one moment is appearing like 100 yugas for me, because I cannot tolerate separation from you, Govinda. शून्य धारा तल चौदिके देखिया पारन उदास होया की कोरी स्थिर नाही होय जीव
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji. So he's saying, looking in every direction, I see the world as completely empty, and this has made me indifferent to life. What should I do? What on earth should I do? I'm no longer capable of living. So he's saying, Jivana nahi koroya. Ki kori, sthira nahi hoya. Means, what should I do? What should I do? This world is so empty without you. So what should I do? So I'm no longer capable of living. So he's saying, without Krishna, is incapable of living. ब्रजबासी गना मोरा प्राण राख देखाओ श्री राधा नाथे भक्ति विनोदा मिनति मानिया लाओ हे ताहरे साथे. O inhabitants of Vraja, please save my life by showing me the beloved Lord of Radha. Accept this request of Bhakti Vinoda and give him your association. So again, who is he approaching? He's approaching the inhabitants of Vraja, because they have that love, right? So he's saying, save my life by showing me the beloved of Radha. So please show me Krishna. Save my life. Otherwise, I will not be able to continue. So please, give me your association and accept this request, is saying. Sri Krishna viraha are saite na pari, parana charite ara dina dui chari. So I cannot tolerate the separation from Krishna anymore. I have only a few days left before the life airs leave my body. So he's saying, Sri Krishna viraha are sahite na pari. So I'm not able to bear the separation from Krishna. And, in a few days, I'm going to leave my body. So this is the mood of Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada. So we should, just a little bit of fraction, like it's infectious. So at least, when we read, we should feel a little bit of what he's feeling. So that is how, that is the mood that our acharyas are giving, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving, Srila Prabhupada is telling, and our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. That is what we do. So we are, lovers of the divine couple, looking for this Premadhana, and how we get is by chanting in Seva, Sambandha, and Vipralambha. So just to summarize, one last slide. So, in chanting in Vipralambha, in Adi Purana, we learned that Krishna is purchased by chanting in mood of separation. So this is what Krishna is asking. I mean, Krishna loves this. So he gets purchased. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us that chanting in Vipralambha is the real perfection of chanting. So if you really want to do a perfect chanting or attain perfection in chanting, then it should be in this bhava, Vipralambha bhava. Then, as I said, there's no specific technique, there's nothing like, a guidebook, 1, 2, 3, 4, you do this and you'll get this bhava. No, it should naturally arise, but it arises only from a purified heart. So as long as we have impurities in our heart, the 6 anarthas that I mentioned, then we're not going to get this mood. But few things that can help, that, Maharaj has given, His Holiness Satchidananda Swami. One is understanding that material world is not our home. Right? If we think this is our home, then, there's no question of feeling that separation. So I once heard from Amrendra Prabhu that, when you go to the toilet in the morning, you quickly finish your work and go out, because you don't feel like, you belong in the toilet. But this is what we are doing. So we've come to this material world from spiritual world, and we are thinking this is our home and we are decorating it. So do we ever decorate our toilets? We don't, right? So what we are doing here in this material world is we are thinking it is our home, and we are decorating in the sense, we are doing everything to continue staying here. So as long as we do that, then, that separation. See, the separation comes only when you think you're out of place, right? So if suppose, our children are there, when they go to hostel, they cry, or they feel, they miss the home. Why? Because they are out of home. So if you don't feel like you're out of your home, then that separation doesn't exist only. So that's why we should remind ourselves that, this is a toilet. This is not our home. So that understanding we should have, continuously have. then we should also feel that, we have necessity for Govinda. In fact, our only need is Govinda. So we should cry out for Govinda, because I need Govinda and I'm not near Govinda. I'm very far away from Govinda. Then what do? I cry for him. Then we have to take help of songs of acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashay, and then connect. Even though we don't have this inherently, we have to connect with their mood of worship. And then sometimes, when we have to perform kirtana, means, loud chanting. And also when we are alone, we should chant loudly, so that, at least Krishna hears that, we are missing him. So the underlying resolve in chanting in Vipralamba Bhav should be what? Krishna, I only want you. So I want this, I want that. I'm okay with this, I'm okay with that. No, I only want you, Krishna. So I'm missing you. I'm separated from you. So thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Thank
Krishna.
you,
you.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Mataji, can you share these slides in the Sakisanga?
Yeah.
Emotional mother. Became very emotional. Separated. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandar Pranam. Mataji, to get that Vipralambha Bhava, we have to cross the many stages and we have to solve all of our anarthas, impurities in our heart, isn't it, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji. But all the anarthas need not go away. So if we take, shelter of pure devotees, some of their mood will come to us. And we have to, remind ourselves. So if you are comfortable in this world, thinking, depending on our material opulences and families, then it's not for us. So we truly have to feel that, we are separated and we want to go back. So that is a prerequisite for developing this mood. So Mataji's, thank you so much. It's my humblest, my most heartfelt obeisances to His Holiness Sachidanand Swami, who so beautifully writes this book. And all glories to him, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, that at least I'm able to understand that there is something like this. Otherwise, chanting was very mechanical, the whole process was. So we thank you. So if any mistakes are there on my part, please correct them. And if there's anything that you learned, it's all our acharyas mercy, Mataji. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing this, week onwards, week. You're sharing this nectar and making us understand the quality of chanting, what we have been doing.